Welcome to the world of probiotic foods. This is Cultured Food Life with your host, Donna Schwenk.
Welcome, everybody. Today's topic is one of my favorite things to talk about, and that is ginger. And ginger is one of those special things that has all kinds of healing abilities that so many of us don't know about. And I love to talk about food as medicine. I love that. I think that our bodies have an innate ability to heal. I think that in many cases we've lost that connection with our body. And I'm so excited to talk to you about that today, because once you understand the body's capability to heal, and when you can assist it with certain foods that have natural healing abilities, it is just win-win. And it's so much fun to live this way because you discover things you never knew. You get wisdom about things you never knew. And when you do use that wisdom and try it for yourself, and your body proves to you that it does work, it just changes everything. It's a very fascinating and exciting way to live your life. So let's talk about ginger. Ginger has, oh my gosh, health benefits that are so long and have been studied for quite a while now, and very extensively. And ginger is delicious. Ginger root is what I'm mostly talking about here. And it can flavor things like nothing else. I just love the flavor of ginger. I wish you could see how much ginger I buy in every week. It's a little ridiculous sometimes, and I like to use it in so many ways. But I want to first of all tell you why I use it, and then I'm going to show you how I use it. And first of all, ginger has been very effective in helping me with any kind of inflammation in my body, especially hay fever in the springtime. Ginger is antiviral and anti-inflammatory, and has been used also as an antihistamine. And it works powerfully on allergies on a way that reduces your symptoms of cold, sinus infections, hay fever. And I know this because it's happened to me. I had seasonal allergy for over 30 years until I found cultured foods and started healing my body. And lo and behold, little by little, every year my allergies got less and less. And one of those healing properties that I used was ginger. And we used to have a boat when we lived in Kansas City, and we would spend our weekends on this boat. And in the springtime, there were high amounts of yellow pollen all that covered the lining over our boat. And one particular spring day, we went down to the boat, we took off the covers, and I found myself just covered in that yellow pollen that I'm so allergic to. And it was in my throat, my hair, my eyes, and it was really too much for my immune system to handle. And I had a full-out allergy attack. My eyes were itching and running. I was sneezing. I couldn't stop. And it was pretty bad. I was just covered in pollen. And earlier that week, I had watched a video by the famous juice master, Jason Vale, who I really love. He's a great guy. And he said that he eliminated all of his hay fever allergy symptoms with a simple thing called a ginger shot. And all it was one apple that was juiced and a very thick 1-inch piece of ginger. He would juice them together and drink it like a shot. And it's very strong, but oh my gosh, does it work. And luckily I had a juicer on my boat, so I juiced an apple and ginger, and lo and behold, within 10 minutes, my allergy symptoms stopped. It was an amazing thing, and I love that. So that was something I've used a lot in my life. And now studies show that ginger has properties that are even rivaling anti-inflammatory drugs on the market, which are so hard on the body. And it's cheap, and it's easy to find, and it's fun to use. And it even works on breaking down existing inflammation and acidity in the fluid that can make your joints painful, and also when you have arthritis. There was a study done in the University of Denmark on arthritic patients, and each patient was given small amounts of ginger for about 3 months. And almost all of the patients had significant improvement in pain, swelling, and morning stiffness by eating ginger daily. And if you ever had arthritic problems, it can be so painful. And like, for instance, if you've had it in your knees or in your joints, a study published in the osteoarthritis cartilage study, it was a journal, not a study, but there was a study done that had 29 patients with painful arthritis in their knees. There were 6 men and there were 23 women in this study, and their ages ranged from 42 to 85 years old. And the patients each switched from placebo to ginger or vice versa for about 3 months. And after 6 months, they kept doing the study. The double-blinded study was broken, and 20 of the patients who wished to continue were followed for an additional 6 months. And at the end of the first 6-month period, those given ginger were experiencing significantly less pain and movement, and they were less handicapped than those who had been given the placebo. The pain of movement decreased from a pain density score of 76.14 with a baseline of 41%. And while those who were handicapped decreased from 73 to 46%, which is quite a bit. Those, the contrasting ones, those who were switched from ginger to the placebo experienced an increased amount of pain, and it went up to 82%. And that was almost a reduction of 40% in their pain levels, which was really significant, almost down to normal levels. And in the final phase of the study, when all patients were getting ginger, pain remained very low in those already taking ginger, and then it decreased again in that group that had been on the placebo. So it went up after the people got off the ginger, and the people who stayed on the ginger, it got even better. But when the group that had gotten off of the ginger and was on the placebo went back on the ginger, it decreased again. So that was significant pain reduction in all groups that were taking the ginger. And not only did those participants experience less pain, but the swelling in their knees dropped so significantly in those treated with ginger that the people didn't want to get off the ginger. Those who did not receive the ginger continued to have more pain and actually had an increased pain threshold and severity over time. So if you're experiencing any kind of arthritis or joint pain, especially in your knees, give ginger a whirl. It's an incredible tool. It's an incredible food that works like medicine, and I've used it in my own life, and it's made me a believer. Ginger has also been found to be effective as ibuprofen in reducing pain from menstrual cramps in women. And it's also been studied to know that it helps with those with asthma by adding ginger compounds, isoproterols, a type of asthma medication, by adding ginger compounds to it, it really increased and allowed people to experience a lot of relief from asthma. Ginger enhances the bronchial tubes and is anti-inflammatory, so it helps to open up the airways of those who suffer with asthma. So, and I've heard from some other people that it's been very effective in helping them whenever they've had asthma attacks, to help open up the airways and allow them to breathe more clearly. And that's been documented in this study. It's also an anti-nausea medicine. I'm sure a lot of people have heard about that. And I have seen it work powerfully on motion sickness. There was one time I got an inner ear virus, and if you don't know what that is, it causes you to be very, very dizzy. And the rooms was spinning like crazy, and that motion was making me throw up, and I couldn't stop. Because what happens is the fluid in your ear that controls your balance, that tells you you're standing upright, got out of balance. And so when I was looking on the horizon, my ear was telling me I was the other way. And so it would create this motion sickness that was just horrific. And I didn't know what was wrong with me. And then I got diagnosed that it was an inner ear virus. And so my husband got me some natural Dramamine that was non-drowsy, and it wasn't the drug. It was a natural herbal remedy. And lo and behold, it was nothing but high amounts of ginger. It was 1,000 milligrams of ginger root. And he actually got it at the pharmacy, and it stopped my motion sickness really, really quickly. And it was bad. I had to lay in a certain position so I wouldn't get that spinning that was happening because the fluid in my ear was out of balance. And I was really excited that something so natural could, help restore me. And it was just ginger. That was all that was in it. In one study, ginger was shown to be far superior to Dramamine. And that was a commonly used over-the-counter prescription drug for motion sickness. And ginger also reduces all symptoms associated with like dizziness, nausea, vomiting, like when you get those cold sweats. It really helps with that because it's so anti-inflammatory. And they've also found it to be very successful and also is useful when those are having, the types of pregnancy where you have the vomiting and you nausea. They found that it worked really well. Now, in some cases, it doesn't work on pregnancy, and I have heard some people it's just swears by it, and then other people said it did nothing. And I often wonder if it's the type of ginger that they're taking. And fresh ginger root seems to work really, really well, even like in an apple shot, the one I talked about earlier. For some people, pregnancy is a very unique thing, and they did a study on it, and they had women who get severe vomiting when they're pregnant, and in 19 out of the 27 women in early pregnancies, when the first trimester, when you have the terrible nausea, that it worked very well in helping these women to calm down the vomiting, which you know can really make you miserable for months when you're first pregnant. And you have to be careful what you take when you're pregnant, because a lot of anti-vomiting drugs can cause severe birth defects. But ginger's so safe, and is only requires a small dosage, that it's great for pregnant women. In one study they did that for women who were pregnant, there was 675 women in this study, and it was done in April of 2005 in the issue of obstetrics. It was a journal of obstetrics and gynecology, and it confirmed that ginger was very effective in relieving the severity of nausea and vomiting during pregnancy. And I think that the key is that it wasn't dry ginger, but it was fresh ginger root seemed to be the most effective. And that worked for me too. That's something that's worked for me. So I think it's just so cool that something can help us like that. And I think it's an especially important thing when you're looking for natural remedies, and that's really what you want. When you're pregnant, you need to be very careful what you take. And I think that it's a wonderful tool that nature gives us that can help us with any kind of inflammation or vomiting or stomach distress or any kind of thing that's got us inflamed, whether it's arthritis. That ginger is nature's remedy. I think it's wonderful. Okay, so let me talk to you about how I eat ginger every day. This is my favorite part. I love this because I love to tell people what I do, because I hope that will help them too. And if you want to find these recipes of how exactly I make them, go to my website at culturedfoodlife.com and type in the search bar ginger, and you'll come up with, I think there's several articles and several recipes. Well, there's a lot of recipes that have ginger, but there's one particular I'm going to list all of the ginger recipes, and I think it would help you a lot. So just go to my website, culturedfoodlife.com, and just type in ginger. Okay. So I put ginger in so many things. One of my favorites is ginger kombucha, and it's so crazy good. So you just got to buy fresh ginger root at the store, and it has a little bit of a kick. It's a little bit, I don't want to say spicy. I guess it's spicy. It just has a kick to it. Ginger does. And so I make my kombucha, my regular kombucha, and then I second ferment it, and I'll put a piece of ginger root in there. And sometimes I'll add lemon, or sometimes I'll add some juice of an orange, which is about 2 ounces. And then I clamp it down and put it in a safe bottle for brewing. And then I let it sit for, 2 or 3 days, and it gets super bubbly, and it has the most wonderful taste. And you can buy a lot of ginger kombucha at the stores now, and health food stores, and even a lot of regular stores. And ginger is it's a wonderful kombucha. And not only that, are you getting the benefits of ginger, but you're getting probiotics too. And I love ginger kombucha. You can also make kefir soda with ginger, which is fantastic. My favorite version is the one with a little bit of lemon juice and ginger together. And you can find that on my website too, because I have a wonderful recipe for that. And boy, is it good. It's so simple to make, because you're just cutting a piece of ginger root and sticking it in the bottle. And it kind of does its thing and ferments and gets bubbly, and ginger gets super bubbly. So if you like kefir soda or kombucha, I recommend you try it. Another way I like ginger is cultured celery. I love to make cultured celery, especially in the summertime. And it's easy to make. And I just made a jar the other day. And there's a recipe on my site for it. And you just place some celery in a jar with 2-inch piece of ginger root. And then you add your culture, and you cover the celery with water. And you let it ferment for 2 to 3 days on your counter. And then you place it in the fridge. and you have fantastic tasting ginger that's got a little fizz to it. And you can, stick some almond butter in it or put it in I've got so many dips that are probiotic on my recipe, probiotic recipes on my website that you can make and, dip your celery in. And it's fantastic. And it's just really ginger root and celery on a culture and a little bit of salt. And you culture it for a couple of days on your counter with a lid. And I have that recipe on my website, but it's fantastic. And it keeps your celery preserved and fresh, and it tastes yummy too. It gives celery a little more flavor. And then another favorite I have is kimchi. And I have several kimchi recipes on my website that I just love. And it always has ginger in it. It's fantastic. If you haven't tried kimchi, you're missing out on one of the greatest foods. And I love it. And it has cabbage and carrots, and it's Napa cabbage, which is what I love that flavor. And they put ginger in it. And boy, is it fantastic. It tastes wonderful. It makes this cultured vegetable. And in one spoonful of kimchi, you're going to have billions and billions of probiotics that are so delicious and so good for you. And this jar that you make of kimchi with cabbage and carrots and daikon radish and ginger and garlic and some little kimchi, the chili powder, it will last like 9 months in your fridge. And you just need one spoonful and you'll get more probiotics than you would in a whole entire supplement bottle. It's fantastic. I also have a wonderful recipe on my website. It's called Fermented Cocktail Grapes. And what you do is you just get regular red grapes. You can even use the green ones. And you put a piece of ginger and you put a piece of garlic clove. And I think it's green onion and some star anise in there and a couple just little cloves and a cinnamon stick. And you let it ferment for a couple days on your counter. And oh, are they delicious. You get all these different flavors in them. And I love serving them as a snack. They're wonderful. They're fantastic and they're easy to make. There's also strawberry ginger water kefir, which is so good. I love this drink. And I love it for some reason. I guess it's because in the summertime and springtime, the strawberries are so fresh. But it is a fantastic water kefir, which is also very, very good for you. It's got billions of probiotics in it too. It's bubbly. It's a fantastic replacement for soda pop. And we are seeing water kefir sold everywhere here where we live. I mean, every farmer's market people are serving. We have a place that we go to all the time to get water kefir that just serves all kinds of probiotic drinks. And I bet I've seen 4 or 5 new places pop up in restaurants that are now selling this wonderful drink. That's just thrilling to me to see that, because I would love to see everybody move away from regular soda pop and move to these probiotic beverages that really are so good for the body and so much better than the ones that are made with high fructose corn syrup and harmful chemicals that really are hard on the body. I also have another recipe on my website that is, it's so wonderful. We've got different ways to do it. It's called, you make a ginger bug is what they call, which is a culture. And you make it out of fresh ginger and you just let it ferment for a few days on your counter and you feed it till it gets super bubbly. And then you make the most delicious ginger soda that sometimes they call it ginger beer, but it is so good. I'm addicted to the flavor. I love it. My whole family loves it. And it's probiotic in nature. It's super fun to make. And I have that recipe on my website too. And it's just a blast to make these sodas, especially in the summertime. I tend to drink a lot more in the summertime because I get more dehydrated. But the cool thing about these sodas is the sugars in these sodas are eaten out by the bacteria. That's what gives it that tart, bubbly flavor. So it makes it into probiotics while you don't get all of the sugar. And I'm crazy about these drinks. And I love that they're popping up with regularity. And if you see them out and you go out and you find people that are really making good quality kefir sodas and these special probiotic drinks, please order them so that we'll get more of them and it'll grow and grow. You'll fall in love with the taste. And I would just love for these sodas to replace the unhealthy, soda pops that are on the market today. And watch people walk around drinking these sodas they're crazy good, guys. I love them. And I love ginger. I think it is a life-changing, powerful food. And if you didn't know about it, I hope I enlightened you. I hope that you'll add some more ginger to your life and try it. See for yourself how these foods work and prove to yourself, you don't have to take my word for it. You just got to try it and let your body be the test. And that's one of my favorite things is people don't believe me, then they try it, and then I get an email. I love that. I love that people do that. So I hope you have a wonderful week. I hope you're enjoying the first weeks of June, and I hope you'll try some of these things that I've pointed out on ginger, whether it's the apple ginger shot or a soda or the cultured vegetables, and just try them. See how you like them, and send me an email. I love getting emails. We answer all our emails. We always try to help everybody. We do the best we can to make sure everybody gets answered in a timely manner. So give us a shout out if you try them and you like them or you got a question, because that's what we're here for. You guys have a wonderful week, and go grab you a bottle of ginger kombucha and see how you like it.